Alright, folks. We have today and tomorrow. I want to apologize for not streaming yesterday. Took a nap and didn't wake up in time, to be honest with you. Wait. Alright, does anybody have questions? What's up, guys? So we have today and tomorrow, and then if this drags on into the next school year, I will pick it back up in August, but today and tomorrow. And then I'm going to sit there and start looking at grades and decide who passes and fails my class. That shall be fun. Anybody got questions? If not, this is going to be short and sweet. Dad, you got a question? You going to email it to me? Open up my email then. My wife signed me out of every account on my computer because she was trying to do something. I gotta try to remember all my passwords. Just a tad annoying. Nope, that's not the password for that. Nope, that's not the password for that. Cannot believe she logged me out of everything. Nope. Nope. How is that possible? She legitimately logged me out of every one of my accounts. Why? I don't know. Guess she didn't know how to use computers. If she can toggle between accounts. What is the password? That's what it was. Alright, I got into that. Maybe. Alright. And Jad absolutely sent me that was yesterday. Jad, let me see what you sent me, buddy. That's a whole lot of circles. Okay, so I'm going to do 12-1, I guess, Jed. Can I help you on this? We've got x minus 1 over 3 minus 2x minus 3 over 2 equals x over 6 minus x plus 1 over 3. Okay. It's really impressive the fact that you are... Yeah, I was taking a nap. My daughter's in the house. So yeah, this is really impressive that you're having to do this in junior high. A lot of my high school kids can't do this. First thing I see is I have a fraction. To be able to subtract them or add or subtract fractions, you have to have a common denominator, which I do not have. I have a 3, a 2, a 6, and a 3. My common denominator is going to be a 6. So I want to look at each one of these individual terms. This is a term, this is a term, this is a term, this is a term, and figure out what number I need to multiply it by to get 6 in the denominator. Well, the number we're going to multiply by is 1 because that's all we're allowed to multiply by without changing the equation. But there's an infinite amount of ways to write the number 1. So here I have a 3 in the denominator. I need to turn 3 into 6 by multiplication. So I can do that by multiplying by 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this equation by 2 divided by 2. That is 1 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm not changing the equation, but I'm going to do common denominator. I'm going to look at this term and I have a 2 in the denominator. And how do I turn a 2 into a 6? By multiplying it by 3. So I'm going to do 3 divided by 3, which is still the number 1. But now when I multiply my fraction, I'm going to have a 6 in the denominator. Here I already have a 6 in my denominator. I don't have to mess with that. And here my 3, same trick. I'm going to do 2 over 2. Now when we multiply fractions, we go straight across. Nothing there. So I'm going to have 2 times x minus 1 over 6 minus 3 times 2x minus 3 over 6 equals x over 6 minus 2 times x plus 1 over 6. Now I have a common denominator. Hoorah, that works out perfect for me. All right, so all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to distribute and I'm going to kind of clean this up. So this first term becomes 2x minus 2 minus, I'm going to put a parenthesis around it, 6x minus 9. This will be all over 6 equals x minus 2x plus 1, put a parenthesis around it, all over 6. This is great. Now we can use what's called the property of equality. Because my denominators are the same, my numerators for this to be equal have to equal the same, so we can drop the denominator at this point. The reason why I put these around parentheses is because of this negative. You would have a habit of dropping the sign if you don't put it in parentheses. So I have to distribute this negative to everything. So I'm going to basically just write my numerators equal to each other, distribute my negative. I got 2x minus 2 minus 6x plus 9, because a negative and negative makes a plus, equals x minus 2x minus 1. All right, from here we just simply solve. This is just a big fancy linear equation. All right, let's see. So this becomes negative 4x plus 7 equals negative x minus 1. I've got 3x equals, subtract 7, negative 8. It's a negative. So x is going to equal 8/3. So, providing I did everything right, x equals a positive 8/3. So yeah, that's how you work these. You just have to get a common denominator. Once you get the common denominator, you just do the algebra on the numerators, because as long as these are just constants on the bottom where they're exactly the same, you use the property of equality. And the property of equality states that the numerator and denominator have to be exactly the same. Well, once our denominators are exactly the same, then we can just solve the numerator to be exactly the same, which will end up being our x value. That's how you solve all of those problems. That's how every last one of those works out. Yeah, that's how when I'm looking at them on that number 12, That's how they all work out. All right. You want 11 and 12. 11 and 12 on what, YT? Oh, you want 11 and 12. Answer true or false. So that's how you do 12. So I did 12-1. You can do 2, 3, and 4. They're all the same. It's the same process. 11 are true, false. Dad, really? Really? All right. I'm a little disappointed in you. Pick one of those on 11 for me to do. Because when you see me how to work it, you're going to be like, oh, that's it? Well, this thing does not want to erase at all today. You want 7, so 11-7. Okay. All right, here we go. 11-7. You have 3x equals 5. And gives x equals 3 over 5. Okay, there's a couple ways you can solve this because you don't see this is a true-false question. True or false. 2 ways to solve this problem. You can either solve this algebraically, or you could take this 3/5 and plug it in and see if you get a true math statement. So we're going to do it both ways. So we're going to do 3x equals 5. To solve for x, because we're multiplying, we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. From there, we get x equals 5/3. Well, if x equals 5/3, x doesn't equal 3/5, so this would say that it's false. So you can do it that way. The other way is just take this and plug it in. So we do 3 times 3 over 5, and that has to equal 5. If it doesn't equal 5, it's got to be false. Well, this becomes 3 over 1. We multiply our fraction straight across. We get 9 over 5 equals 5, huh? Last time I checked, that's not 5. So that makes it false. So there's 2 different ways you can actually solve this problem. I like the idea of just solving this algebraically, but if it gets even more complex, you can always just take this answer and plug it in. Because these true-false, you can treat it as biconditional. These linear equations only have one solution, so they're going to be what we call biconditional. They're if and only if statements. 3x equals 5, if and only if x equals 5/3. That's it. That's it, Jad. I think you were overthinking it. That's what I said. Like, oh, Jad. Like, you go from that on 11 to 12, the level of difficulty is significant. This right here would be an Algebra 1 question here in the U.S. The other question you asked is second semester Algebra 2 here in the U.S. So, significantly different in levels. Sent me another picture here. Oh yeah, I got that one. That's it, that's it. Nothing crazy about that problem. Sometimes it's just the way it's worded. Who's torturing you? Oh, torturing us. Not really. Those problems aren't that bad. You want to see torture, just some of the problems I used to give my students in pre-calculus. That was torture. Have them calculate time of death of an individual by using Newton's law of cooling. That's always fun. Had them actually do the math on the eye surgery on how to actually change. I would say 12 would be torturing y'all. I don't think 11 is. I think 11's pretty straightforward. I think 12 is pretty torturous for a junior high kid. I know if you put that in front of any of our junior high kids, they would freak out. Anybody else got questions? I know somebody yesterday emailed me about Algebra 2, but I was napping. My wife was supposed to wake me up, but she didn't. 2, 5, 10, 11. 10 and 11. 2, 5. I don't know. Goodness gracious. Anybody else? Congruent triangles. Congruent triangles are easy. Well, you guys are just kind of all over the place. Congruent triangles is geometry for us. They're actually a big thing to understand, though. Congruent triangles are a big thing to understand. Were you trying to prove that they're congruent by like doing side postulate? Side angle side, I believe, is a way you could prove congruency, or are you just doing other things? Y'all doing like proving two triangles are congruent by parts? Were you writing proofs, or were you just doing like algebra problems? Oh, man. Well, I've got 58% of Zelda completed. Really, it's just side quests. I've already beaten the game. Get the side quest done. Then when my daughter decides to come home, she can just go roam. My dogs will start going insane here in a second because it's going to get close to their feeding time. In fact, here comes Coda right now. I can hear him. What are you doing? Hey, I'm not over there. Walked in the wrong way down the hallway. He'll eventually find me. Huh. Man, anything? Coda. Hey. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Get that way. Come here. Come here. Oh, he just dipped. He's like, nope, I don't trust you. No, my dog doesn't want to go outside. My dog just he'll want to be fed here shortly. He'll start barking. Man, last week worth of work for our students. It's a good thing because I think a lot of them quit working, personally. Uh, what you just told me reminded me of a really, really funny video. Um, they use a unofficial study of cats because there was a study done. Oh, mid 19th century or mid 18th? No, mid century, sometime in the 20 early to mid 20th century about cats falling out of windows in New York City, and not all of them survived, but some of them survived, and they were talking about how they landed on their feet and everything else. It was really funny because the video that I was watching was a hard to describe. It's a made up hypothesis that we know it's not true, talking about the extinction of the dinosaurs. And they talked about how dark matter would float into the solar system, and he theorized what killed the dinosaurs was a a gravitational reversal event, a GRE, which is funny within itself. Um, but he attributed the fact the reason why cats and mammals survived is because of that research that was done about cats falling out of windows in New York City in the early to mid 1920 early to mid 20th century. It's a really funny video. We're just kind of like, "Ugh." But it's like academic comedy. Really good stuff. But yeah, somebody decided in at one point that it would be good to figure out what happens to cats that fall out of windows in New York City. Just like back in the day, people used to be able to insane. That was cool. Bet you didn't know that. We could tell things about you about the bumps on your head. Totally proven to be wrong, but it was a leading theory for quite a bit of time. Oh man, 523. Answer two math questions. Check my mail. Oh. It hadn't come through yet. Hasn't come through yet. Yeah, your email hasn't come through yet, Jed. That was a funny email. Not yours. I haven't gotten yours yet. Wow, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, your email hasn't come through yet. Might want to resend it. Yeah, nothing's come through. Oh, man, I'm getting old. There it is. What am I looking at? Is that your balcony? Hard for me to really see it. Looks like some corrugated paneling. Look, if he falls off, he falls off. That's life. Survival of the fittest, Charles Darwin. Oh boy. Well, Jad, I think I'm going to be getting off here. Nobody's really asking questions. Let you go to sleep. Yeah, totally agree, Alex. Totally agree. He's a little special. Just a tad bit special. You still want us to come down? Did you still want us to come around the 30th? I don't think anybody has any math questions. You see who on Thursday? Oh, your manager at the other workplace? Gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. I don't know if the school doesn't even know, hasn't even gotten approved on how they're going to do summer school, so I'm probably not even going to do summer school. So I don't want to do it without clear-cut guidelines of knowing what I'm going to do. Because I don't want to do it online like this, because there's a reason why kids are in summer school 99% of the time, and having them trying to do it from a distance won't work. Take it easy on him. He's in junior high. Did you get your grades yet, Alex? So I take that as a, yeah, you got your grades. You get the grades about the classes you were worried about is what I'm concerned about. When do they do? Should be getting them any by like the end of this week, right? So Monday coming up. So probably by Friday they'd have most of them will have them posted. Don't care about getting their grades in, or just don't care in general about. I mean, that's college for a large part. Oh, they were due 2 days ago. Gotcha. I mean, if they're on tenure, they don't really care. They can't get fired. So, I guess you got your English teacher that you love so much in college now. Hence midterm. So you have no idea where you stand on that class. You got your favorite high school English teacher now as your college teachers. Good time. All right, I mean, there's 5 people on here, but nobody's asking math questions. Yeah, we're definitely not talking about Jonna. Jonna was one of the few teachers that actually prepared you for college. And she has probably one of the best lines I like. Is that do comment. Yeah, I remember when you said you had problems with Microsoft Teams. Did you figure it out? I know. I love that comment. I use that on my students now. After you told me that, I was like, man, that's such a great comment. I use it on my students. They just glare at me when I say it. Yeah, did you figure out Teams? Microsoft Teams? No meetings until now. No, I remember that one too. If you're feeling shame, maybe you should step into the light. You know, you said she was only one of 2 high school teachers that prepared you for college, so her and Mr. Bodu. Haven't seen Charles in a while, hearing his laughter and his voice. So what? This year I wasn't even close to him. I think I saw him like maybe 15 times all school year. Yeah, I saw your last comment. You finally you figured it out and it got fixed, and you haven't had one until just now. When's y'all school over with over there, Jad? No meetings at all. Don't know what to tell you. Are y'all on year-round school, or y'all get out? I don't know. I don't know how y'all do it over there. When you get out of school? Or do you get out of school? Oh, man. Just ordered something from. You don't know when you get out of school, Jad? Plus points. What do you mean by plus points, Alex? Plus 5 points. Oh, from Mr. Bodu. Plus 5. Plus 10. Minus 5. Alright, guys. I'm signing off. No real math questions here. Tomorrow will be my last stream. When does your school end? Do y'all get a break? Like, we finish school, the school year, in about 2.5 weeks. When do you finish this school year and go to the next grade? Oh, my goodness. Wait on Jad's answer before I end the stream. Minus 10 for Nathan. Minus more than 10 for Nathan. I'll never forget when the marker board fell on him. It was so funny. He just sitting in the marker board, was right on his head. It's funny. Yeah, I don't think he knows when school ends. Then again, this is a junior high kid doing like Algebra 2 work, so. Alright, guys. I'm logging off. I'll be back up at 5 o'clock tomorrow for my last stream. I will see you then.